welcome to Guitars and Music Tech. Today's episode we're going to discuss digital audio workstations, and it's going to be in two parts. Digital audio workstation, in short, we call them DAWs, and it is the most important software for a musician who would like to record himself or his band for a demo or for just to try to create music. We have endless options for this type of software and the equipment that goes into it. So we're going to be discussing everything related to what do you do and what do you purchase to be able to record and edit and mix and produce a song that you can share with your family or with the world. It is both easy and frustrating at the same time. This time of the age, we have a lot of software that is easy to use, but yet frustrating because there's too many options out there. So I'll try to simplify things for you, give you my recommendation. It's going to be, as I said, two parts. So today we'll talk about the process and the role of a DAW and what do you expect from it. And next time we'll be talking about which one would be the better solution for you in details. So as I said, the word DAW is short for Digital Audio Workstation, and it just appeared after sequencers. A sequencer is a device, and later on became a software, allows you to record MIDI information, like from a keyboard or any MIDI instrument. And with MIDI information, it was much easier to modify or edit than if you recorded it directly on tape and then you needed to fix it later on. And you also have the freedom to change the sounds later on or add more or duplicate them much simpler than if you had recorded them in an analog manner on a tape. And with time, they added tracks that are not MIDI tracks, and it became audio tracks. And then when the computer became a little bit more powerful, there was sound cards, we added them, and then you can move from the analog world to the digital world with an analog to digital converter in the sound card. So you can plug a microphone or any instrument that have any signal coming out of it, and you can transform that digitally and record that in a track that will be synchronized with your MIDI tracks inside the sequencer. And then it started being called sequencers. They start to call them digital audio workstations. And that's where it came from. And before adding the ability to record audio inside the software, the program, the sequencer, we used to have to sync because we needed to record audio along with the keyboard that we are recording or the instrument, the virtual instruments, the whatever samples you had. Oh, you didn't have samples yet. Well, yeah, we did have samples, but they were external. I mean, there's sound fonts and stuff like that. But we needed to sync our MIDI sequencer with the tape machines that we used to record the voice and all the other instruments. And that was a long story. We had to record like the whole track to give sync signals recorded. It was called SMTP. And then the sequencer will read that and synchronize by speeding up and slowing down the machine so that it syncs with the MIDI. Oh, it was a long story, and it was not very well. It worked. That's the only thing we had, so we had to go with this. So when we had really an audio track that is recorded directly into the sequencer, that was something. And the software started to appear. I remember Cakewalk. I bought my first sequencer was Cakewalk. And then there was Cubase and Digital Performer. And these are the ones I remember from the very beginning. And then we started to have many new different ones we'll be discussing a little bit later on. Please take note that I will be mentioning some names of software. I usually try to avoid doing that, so I'm not related to any of them. Take note that I'm really not affiliated with any of these companies. I use them, I bought them, and I'm not paid to do advertisements. So if I choose one of them and I recommend one of them, it's my opinion. and only that. All right. Uh, as we said, you want to be able to record yourself, basically. So in the old days, you have no choice. You had to go to a studio. But today, with DAW, a software, and some equipment, basically a microphone, a sound card, some way to transfer your analog voice to digital world, uh, and a computer, that's all you need. You can have that in an iPhone, and that's it. The iPhone has a microphone, and has a sound card built into it, and has GarageBand, which is a software, which is a DAW that records audio, and you can sync in, and you can actually record MIDIs just by tapping the instrument on the screen of that iPhone. So the iPhone is like a full studio. People would have dreamed to have this at some time in past years. So why would you need to do this? Well, you can go to the studio. If money was no object, it's going to cost you a lot, and people will take care of all this for you. And also, you have to be prepared. If you go to the studio, you need to have all your material ready to record. You're not going to sit there in front of the studio engineer or recording engineer and try to compose a song. It's gonna, unless you're a billionaire and you don't care. They are expensive, and you go there with your material, everything is ready, and everybody practiced. Maybe it's just not you that you're playing with your band, so every person in this band has to know their part, and you just go there and record. So that's what the job of the studios at the time, and until today, it's the same thing. You just go to the studio to record. But the beautiful thing about the DAW that is at home that you can use is that you can use it to compose. And that's a big thing about my recommendation to you later on of which one would you choose. If you're a composer, you really need something to help you to compose. Maybe you compose already with a pencil and a paper. A DAW will be also helpful. You can compose with notation. In some software, they have that. Or just record. Sometimes you're a musician that has no ability of playing any instrument, but you have a lot of musical ideas in your head that you hear them. A DAW will help you get this out and put it down, and also inspire you in some certain cases where it helps you to achieve and get that music out. So many useful things that a DAW can do for you in terms of recording and composing. Now comes the many questions. What type of equipment do I need? Well, you're not going to use you could use an iPhone or an iPad or any of these things because it's, as I said, everything is in there. But usually if you want to get serious about it, not to say that using an iPad is not serious, if you want to really get into more developed software, then you need a computer, whether it's a Windows computer, a PC, or a Mac. In music business, since the beginning, it was always the Mac that is controlling the business of music, as they used to do also with desktop publishing, which is doing some things for magazines and stuff. That's the power of the Mac at the time. It's still a very good option for you. So you have two options, either a Windows, which may be a little bit cheaper for you, get a small laptop, or a little bit older computer if you have a limited budget. You need to know your budget, and then you would decide. You can use also Linux, which is an operating system that is works on PC equipment, and also it's free, the operating system. Nowadays, Apple is also giving free operating system. They're not charging anymore. And Windows, I think, is going into the same directions very soon. But you need to choose one because the software sometimes work with one and they don't work with the other. So you need to be careful about your choice and how much you want to pay for that PC. The more powerful it is, the more you'll be having less trouble. You need a lot of memory. If you're going to use samples, that means the sounds of a keyboard that is recorded as a file and is played back every time you push a button. That's a sample playback. So you need a lot of memory because those samples needs to be in the memory. So keep that in mind when you purchase a computer, especially Macs. Their memory is very expensive. So now you got yourself a computer, you're ready. So what else do you need? You need a microphone, a way to record your voice, or your instrument. There's some sound cards that actually have a way that you can plug a microphone into them. So you need a certain sound device, a sound card. And there were cards. I keep calling them sound cards because we used to plug them in a PC. But right now, we call these an audio interface that you would need to record your voice on your instrument, basically. Whether it's a guitar or keyboard or whatever it is that you want to record. So microphone, audio interface, and a computer. Which one you buy? That's a big question. Your budget will decide. So see how much budget, decide on the budget you have, and then go look around and see what you can afford. And a good microphone will go a long way. I'm using right now an Shure SM7B to record this podcast. And I would suggest a small audio device that, well, if you're playing guitar, then you need to plug in your guitar into it. But of course, if you want to record your band, then you would need a bigger audio interface with more inputs. So you can plug in more microphones to capture like drums or mini amps at the same time. If you're alone, that makes it simpler and much, much cheaper. You can go as much as you want, thousands of dollars if you can afford it. If not, you can use a simple one that has maybe a couple microphones in, and you can plug in a MIDI keyboard, and that's it, that's all, and you're good to go. So now you have to ask yourself the question, do you really are interested in composing, or you just have your material and you want to record it, again, as if you were going to a studio? If that's the case, then for the software, you need to have the basics. Most DAWs these days are well developed and they will almost do everything well enough, but each of them has something special that the other one won't do. So one DAW will not do all the things the other DAW can do combined. You can own them all and be always distracted and use each of them for what it is good for, and spend crazy amount of time trying to learn them all. Or just, my opinion, stick to one DAW. Learn it well, work around its weaknesses, and it's very important to pick just that one without being distracted or lose your time trying to figure out how the others are working or envy, oh, your DAWs. But I'm going to give you some advice. Do your research also online and read through the forums and see what people are suggesting. DAWs became a kind of a religion almost, because the one person using this particular DAW is going to tell you this is it. Everything else is no good, and that's it. And then sometimes in middle of the road, they will change their religion and go switch to another DAW because they got influenced and the things he wants to do in that particular DAW is not working well. The workflow is not nice, wasting a lot of time. It's too complicated, whatever the reason is. And they switch and jump ships. Okay. And they keep buying different DAWs, getting distracted, not really producing any music. So what are your choices? I'll give you all the names. As I said, I'm not affiliated with any of them. If you have a Mac, then your Apple Mac comes with GarageBand. GarageBand is fantastic. It's free. You don't even have to buy it. So that will be my suggestion for someone who wants to start. If you want to buy a software for Apples, you have Apple Logic 10. And then you've got, as I mentioned before, Cubase from Steinberg. You have Ableton Live. You've got Luna, which comes from Universal Audio, which is not really a DAW. It's a recording system. It's free if you buy an interface from them. Highly recommended. Very good devices. Fruity Loops, that's based on loops. It works very well. We have Cakewalk, old timer, and then they stopped it, but now it's kind of free. You can find it somewhere. Reaper, Reason, Studio One, excellent. Bitwig, Pro Tools. These are the big names. Those, as you can see, there's a lot of options there. Each one of them is somehow more specific to certain people. So you need to ask yourself the very important questions. What do you want to do with the software? Find your answer for this, and I will help you and guide you to which one would be a little bit better for you. Of course, price is different between them. Some of them are free, as I said. Some of them are very, very expensive, and you can keep adding on to the price of that by adding additions to them, and it's endless. Every one of these does have a learning curve, so you need to invest some time to learn it. Whether you buy a book or you watch videos or you buy an instructional videos to learn about your DAW, just pick one, learn it very well, and stick with it. So that's it for today. Next time we will discuss all the options and which one will be serving you better in producing and recording your beautiful music. Thank you, and bye-bye.